What I want to talk to you about today is 7 essential steps to start you in serviced accommodation. So here it is, this graphic here. I'm going to talk you through it one step at a time. Because many investors talk about a goldmine area, serviced apartments are far more valuable than that. Whereas a buy-to-let will cash flow you £200 or £300 a month, a serviced apartment will cash flow you £1,000 a month, perhaps more. So let's take the diamond model and let's go through it one step at a time. The first D stands for discover. Discover what types of serviced accommodation will work in your area and which won't. And maybe, studio flats or something like that. Okay, well, how about canal boats? How about tents? How about tree houses? How about a 9-bedroom house? What type of service accommodation is going to work best in your area? So that's the strategic overview. Next, you need to interrogate all the available data. Give you one example. If you go onto Airbnb and you specifically look for people on Airbnb that are instant book, that does what it says on the tin. Very often with Airbnb, you've got to make an inquiry. Sometimes with Airbnb, you can make an instant booking. Now, if you can make an instant booking, you can look at that person's Airbnb booking calendar with total confidence knowing it's right. Because if it isn't, they're going to get double bookings and all sorts of things. So just looking at their booking calendar online, which you can do, anyone can do this, it's free, you can see how busy they are. So in other words, you can see what percentage occupancy they're achieving. And there's many other ways that you can do this too, but that's just an example. In the interrogate phase, you need to learn how to determine occupancy, price per night, and your key costs. Because if you know those 3 things, how often is it full, how much do I get, and what's it going to cost me? Now, what key costs am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about fees to people like booking.com. I'm talking about your cleaner. I'm talking about your linen, all that stuff. So you need to know, will I make money if I put that kind of serviced apartment in that area at that occupancy level? You've discovered and interrogated and you think it's good. So now you need to acquire. Now I don't mean buy. There's many, many different ways. We talk about 7 different ways in the book to acquire the property. So let's give you a few. You could buy it, obviously. I didn't. What I did is convert buy-to-lets. So I already had them. I didn't need to go and buy them. What I needed to do was convert them. So let's give you another one. Rent to rent. Go and rent it off another landlord and then rent it out by the night. Next, marketing. Because you could have the perfect serviced apartment, you've done all the numbers wonderfully, you've acquired it perfectly. You don't market it, so you've got no customers. You need to do all these steps, these 7 essential elements in this order. Otherwise, you won't have a business. So now you're looking at marketing. What's the normal way that you might market something? Well, as a minimum, I would say get yourself a channel manager. And that way you can advertise on all the OTAs, all the online travel agents. So booking.com, HomeAway, Airbnb, Late Rooms, Expedia, you know them all, and many, many others. But if that's all you do, you'd only make half the money I make. Because more than 50% of my bookings are direct. So how are you going to get your direct bookings? Can you do a deal with a local hospital? Should you use Facebook advertising? Can you use LinkedIn? Can you use Gumtree? Gumtree? What are you on about now, Paul? Yes, Gumtree. We get more than 12% of our revenue from Gumtree. Discover, interrogate, acquire, marketing. Next is operations. Simple things like how do you let people in? How do you let them out? Quite often they'll want to arrive at 11 o'clock at night, midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to be up 24 hours a day. How do they get in and out without you being there? Are you going to use key boxes? Are you going to use electronic locks? Are you going to use meet and greet? How are you going to do that? How are you going to take the money off them? We use Stripe, S-T-R-I-P-E. You've got to be able to process payments. You've got to be able to send the cleaner in. But most importantly, you've got to be able to do all this without burning all of your own time. I know people, there's 2-3 service departments, it becomes a full-time job. And then they discover how to use virtual assistants, quite often based in the Philippines, for a few dollars an hour. And that virtual assistant, who's expert in admin, unlike most of us, certainly not me, for $20, $30 a week, which is like, say £20 a week, they take away all of that admin and you get your life back. This is all part of operations. Time after time after time, when you see me face to face, I'm going to keep saying it needs to be done, but you don't need to do it. The N stands for the numbers. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. Let's take a simple situation. Let's say you've got 3 serviced apartments and they're making £3,000 a month. Is that good? Maybe. But what about if the first one is making £2,000 a month, the second one's making £1,000 a month, and the third one's making nothing? Well, you're still making £3,000 a month, but you've got one property making nothing. So if you don't analyse it on a property by property basis, on a month to month basis, you could be doing exactly the wrong thing. Because let me give you a different example. These first 2 are making £2,000 a month each, that's £4,000. This one is losing £1,000. She's still making £3,000. Are you happy now? No, you're not. And you're going to go and do something about it. So know your numbers, measure it and manage it. And finally, once you've got your first service department set up, duplicate, 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 duplicate. Because even though a service department is going to make you somewhere between, say, 800 and 1200 typically pounds in profit, if you've only got one, that's not enough for most people. Some people need 5, some people need 10. So that whole bit about duplication and scaling your business gives you a different set of complexities and a different set of challenges. So there we have it, my diamond model, your 7 core essential elements to give you a wonderfully poised service department business that will set you completely financially free. If you've liked this video, please feel free to share it with your friends. If you want to go get yourself a copy of the book, we've put the link below so you can click on that and you can order it yourself from Amazon. And I look forward to seeing you at some point in the future, face to face, and we can talk about how to scale your service accommodation business and move it forward at an incredible rate of knots so you can have the wonderful life that you were born to live. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you soon.